Oh, 4 seconds. There we go.
People can actually hear us right now. So I'm just going to start talking. Say
Yeah.
hello to everyone. My name's Trav. Greetings. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's Kobe who has the screen share happening right now. Hey,
It's me.
it's you. Okay. Can I invite you to just take that down for a quick second?
Yes, of course.
I've got an idea. Boom. Okay. Here we go.
You're muted.
Crap. Off to a wonderful start today, team. Greetings. Hello. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. My name's Trav. We've got a full stacked panel today. I'm just going to send the mic right over to you there, Kobe. I want you to tell us how you are, who you are, and tell us what the heck you are.
Yeah. GM everybody, man. Happy Friday. You guys made it through another week. So yeah, hats off to y'all for that. Yeah, my name's Kobe. I am a dropout story engineer. You can follow me to find out what the hell that means. And yeah, so today we are hosting a interview, right? And so we'll get into kind of like the backstory and stuff like that in a little bit. But basically what we're gonna do today is we're gonna show you guys how to go from idea to an app with users that you can make money with in like 60, 90 days. So really straightforward. Excited to lock in with these guys from Flare Forward, talking about their latest app, DeFi Tracker Pro. So stoked on that. We're going to be doing, we're going to do like intros. We're going to get through, talk a little bit about the backstory, what the app is, how they build it, what inspired them to build it. We'll get into a demo, and we're also going to take questions from the audience as well. The tail end of the stream, we're going to do like an AMA. And so you don't have to actually wait until then to ask your questions. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. And if it makes sense, we'll ask we'll ask Whale and Steven if, they want to answer now, or if it makes more sense, we'll do it at the end. And so, yeah, just drop them in there. We'll get to those at the end. And yeah, super excited to get through to that. The coolest part about this app is that it's got a lot of free features. Most of the free features are cost you like 19 or 20 bucks a month from the the competitor, right? From a similar product, they are giving a lot of value away for free. And hey, Trav, would I be mistaken if kind of that isn't kind of all we're about here, is like giving as much free value to our audience as possible?
Sorry, you are not mistaken. Let me reframe that here. Absolutely, are you not mistaken? It's all about the value. It's all about the free value, and it's all about expecting nothing in return, except maybe reposting the stream, because that costs nothing as well, and it's going to help get the word out of, these. Let me start that thought over. I was getting a little bit lost there. We just want to be able to share this free alpha with the entire ecosystem here, because it's super valuable. You guys will see it in a second. And I think the really cool thing about this specific interview here, gentlemen, and back me up on this, is that it sounds like you guys were inspired to create this app based on one of our live streams. Is that correct? Am I understanding that
Fairly close.
correctly?
I would definitely
Fairly
say
close?
fairly close.
Okay. Well, hey, it had an impact
Massive
to
impact
some degree,
on several levels, several different
which is
ones.
super cool.
So the thing is that we were testing for apps that were similar, and we didn't find one solution that fit our needs. And we're thinking about it, but we was like such a faraway dream. And then when you guys posted that stream, and it was like, okay, this is actually doable.
Yes.
And just believing that it was possible allowed us to grind until we made it. We submitted
friggin'
AI
awesome.
to our will. That was a measure, but we did it.
And honestly, when Kobe told that to me, it just made my day so freaking hard. I don't know which sounds less gross, but I want that feeling again. I want to be able to share. I want to be able to have as much of an impact as we possibly can here. So if you guys share this space, that's all we ask in return, and I am super grateful for you. Plus, it's going to help these legends continue to build what they are building and actually allow this tool that they are creating to help so many people out there. You'll see. Kobe, back at you, my friend.
Heck yeah, sorry, I was just sharing the stream link around. But yeah, we'll get into some of that origin story in a little bit deeper here in a minute, which honestly, like I had a chat. I've been chatting with this team, maybe we've probably spent maybe 4 hours all together on different calls over the last like week or two, just learning about them, learning about the team, or learning about the build, and kind of just and learning about DeFi again, right? So for those who have kind of been following along or following me, I used to be, full-time Web3 and I've kind of turned into a bear a little bit, not because of any
That's an
particular
understatement.
reason or disdain, but kind of just making it part of my personal brand. So speaking of personal brands and what those types of things mean and some of the background, should we jump into it, Trav? We'd start off with some intros and go from there. So yeah, Stephen, Whale, whoever wants to go first. Yeah, if you know, take a couple minutes, tell us about yourself, maybe the role that you play within DeFi Tracker Pro. Of course, talk about Flare Forward, and yeah, take it away.
All right, I'll go. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a very humble and unique beginning where Will and I connected when he had did a X Space, golly, last year sometime, when Flare was just getting going, and he had some knowledge and I was trying to learn, and so I just started chatting with him from there and grew my DeFi strategy with him. As part of that process, we kind of evolved, got a really good friendship. Like I said, we've never actually met each other in person. So, there's a lot of faith and trust between two random people, which is quite incredible. But, we kind of grew our DeFi journey together and went from, okay, well, let's help Flare. Like we were talking about earlier, we like Flare, we like the product. So we just started with Flare Forward, where we were talking and interviewing people. But a part of that process was, man, we don't really know how to track our products. So we kind of grew into what the next phase was we were trying different things out. And that kind of evolved into kind of where we are right now. We are just a couple of random guys who've kind of connected and, saw a need and a fit. And it's just been an incredible journey. And then we brought Ace in shortly after we launched, and it's just been a really great group of guys. We got two extraordinarily technical guys. Whale and Ace are really, like, when you want to dive into really deep dive into technicals, those are your guys right there for sure. Whereas I kind of helped pull it all together in some of the marketing and some of the management stuff from my previous experience. So that's kind of what I would say is like our origin story and kind of how we got to where we are. There are three of us. Ace can't make it. Like I said, he's got a full-time job. We all kind of is like a juggling act for all of us, but it's really getting exciting for us because we think we have an amazing product and we're super excited about it and the future of it.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, that's killer. It's definitely good, important to have like that a well-rounded team. And I would say like with us, we're kind of in the same boat, right? So we've got like, as terms of like Trav, Quantic, and I, we've got our three like lanes that we're in. And I think honestly, when we were kind of all just a little bit more the same, things weren't as interesting as they are now. And so, yeah, it definitely can see the value that brings. Whale, what about you, bro?
Hey man, so yeah, I started just making tutorial videos. There's a really cool saying that if you want to learn something, teach it. Like if you want to master something, teach it. So I started like practicing with doing small tutorials on how to use different DeFi apps. And then I started making videos. Steven connected. We ended up doing a podcast. We ended up interviewing Hugo and like the Flare core team. That was super cool. And then we started doing the university, just like creating like a paid course and a membership based hub where we can learn together. And then from there, like the idea of making the tracker, which was something that we really needed. And it's been such a wonderful journey because understanding how to create the logic behind this has allowed me to understand better what prices are doing, like what my LPs are doing and everything. So it's been a really wonderful journey. And I would say I would declare myself as a degen vibe coder. That was Kobe's nickname. He's the godfather of that. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm a guy who
That's
did
what I'm
not
talking.
touch AI less than 7 months ago. Like Whale had never touched AI, a single AI tool until this year.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah,
man.
I was get super frustrated because I would ask something I didn't know how to prompt and I would get a bad response. So then I would get super frustrated and I would be like, oh, this thing doesn't work. And then I would just drop it. And then like from a very simple of how to make the titles and description of my YouTube videos, like copy the transcript and then prompt it and then get a beautiful title and description that otherwise I would never be able to get to.
That's super cool. And I think so there's a couple takeaways that I'm grabbing already here and kind of are reasons why I think it's important that, any of our viewers right now in our audience, stick around and listen to the actual messages that are being related here. And the first one is that it doesn't take much these days to be able to develop an actual tangible product that will make you money. Anyone can do it. From someone who has never coded before, never used AI before, now is creating a actual practical app that is drawing an income. is testament enough. But then there's the other aspect of, using it to maximize your DeFi wins. And that's definitely, something I want to get a little bit into as well, actually checking out your guys' product, checking out your app here. So there's going to be a lot of nuggets to take away from this. And I'm also going to assume there, Kobe, because you are the man in charge of our stream today, is that we're going to actually get into a little bit on how our audience can actually get started and learn these tools themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, the thing that I kind of like, the first point you made is like where I think is the biggest. And we'll like dive a little bit more into that towards the end, like maybe after the demo. But the mindset, right? And like the mentality, because all these tools do make it easy. And you and I have Trav have talked that just because it's easy doesn't mean everybody will, right?
100%.
You often need to iterate and like not giving up is the biggest thing, right? And like being obsessed or being like, the best skill you can have is learning. The top skill you can have is learning. That is something that Whale told me last night, and I totally agree. I realized, oh wow, I'm addicted to learning and like pushing through that. And so yes, we will talk a little bit about that. And actually my next question goes right into that, kind of like how you can do it too, Mr. or Mrs. Viewer or listener. And
Kobe, sorry, real quick, right before you ask that question, I have something I want to show you. And
please,
finally got it. You guys ready?
yeah.
Go for it.
Boom. Check it out. When you see it, you'll know.
The QR reader.
Hey, check out the screen. Do you see it, Kobe? Bottom left corner.
No, hold on. I probably got to pull
I
it
see
up
half of it. I see half of it.
Okay, hold up. I can't see the live screen right now. It's not up to date. But regardless, QR code is on the screen. So maybe give that a quick intro, because we will leave that for a good chunk of the time here. So I just want to give our audience and you guys the opportunity to introduce what this is, and then we can get right back into it, just to maximize the opportunity for people to actually take advantage of it, because it's sweet.
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, sick, dude. Thank you. Yeah, so I went over to the live stream and it is there.
Awesome.
So yeah, that QR code is just a link to the platform so you can test it out. And like I said before, there's so many features that you can do for free, and we're gonna dive into those features in the demo in a few minutes. So just hang tight for that. But yeah, if you wanna check out the app, just go ahead and scan the QR code. I'll also throw something in the first comment as well to a link. Like if you're already on your computer and can't or on your phone and can't scan it, I got you. But yeah, really, yeah, thank you, dude. Yeah, appreciate it. Dang, I totally like lost what I was forgot what I was saying.
I'll let you recover beforehand. So let me drop in
My man.
a quick call to action. So, as part of our appreciation for this whole process, our tool obviously gives everybody free 2 weeks, right? And so anybody who goes in and types in W3M as a coupon code from now until next Friday at 5 p.m., they'll get the first month entirely free. So they actually get a month and a half of the tracker for free to try it out, no cost. And it's just W3M for the coupon code. So we were saving that one so that you guys didn't know. We were going to use it for the call to action, but since that's there, we want to make sure that anybody who checks it out knows that they can get an additional 4 weeks free.
Snap. I'm honored. I'm honored. Thank you guys. That means a ton. You know how much we care about our community, and for you guys to hook them up with something like that is huge. So like, means the world, and super grateful. I'll make a banner about that we can post up on our stream so that people can see it throughout the stream. And without further ado, Kobe, you're remembering where you were at, my friend?
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, thank you, Steven. That's crazy. Whale said that you guys had a surprise. I didn't know that it was going to be that, and so yeah, that's killer. So yeah, QR code down on the screen should help you guys go check out the app. And basically, let's intro the app. So this is what I want to do. I want to intro the app, and then I have a question about the origin story, and then we'll jump into the demo. And go from there. Yeah. What do you guys think? Cool. All right. So yeah. All right, cool. Sorry. Whale, Steven, whoever wants to kind of give your little elevator pitch, right? On like, what is the app? Who would be using it? What's the value? And yeah, you can kind of take it in whatever direction you want to.
So I'll kind of start for like who the app is for. Now, again, we have 2 different audiences for our app actually. And, what we would say our free version, which is the one that, to be honest, fits 98% of crypto users. Like if you're in crypto, I won't say the words I was using yesterday when I was describing like anybody who doesn't apply this free tool. But if you're into crypto and you buy and sell crypto, just buy and sell it. Like our free tool allows you to track what's on your exchanges and your wallets. And then here's the thing you don't think about, like what's your average buy price? So when you plug all that information in, let's say you're buying XRP at 17 cents all the way to a dollar, right? You want to understand like how much profit was made on each section of buy. So we've got, you're entering your buy price, and then you can also stagger your selling. Like, oh, I'm going to sell X percent, and this percent. And it allows you to understand like how much you're going to get on each sell, how much is going to be left afterwards. And again, a lot of people use Excel spreadsheets. There's another tool that does this exact same thing for, like we said, $18 a month. So like our free version fits everybody in crypto. And that's why we really focus a lot on the free version, because our DeFi is more for, your degens, your decentralized finance people. And our hope is like we guide people in and they get active in basic crypto. And then we have other things that allow them to learn a little bit more about decentralized finance. So when they're ready to make that leap, not just to buy and sell crypto, but how do you make crypto work for you? Like that was the biggest thing for me when I was first getting into crypto is like, I don't want to buy and hold an asset. I can do that here. I can go buy gold. Like I want it to grow. How is it going to work for me? And so our goal is to help people transition, but the main thing we push is the free wallet, which fits everybody. And then our paid version is for our more degen, because the goal of that is allow you make smart decisions and be able to track how much money you've made or lost. So you need to really have that when you're doing a decentralized finance.
I love that because it's kind of it almost acts as like a funnel, right? It's like for like builders and like founders and marketers out there, we all know kind of what a sales funnel is, but a product funnel is kind of like, like, okay, top level is really big. We're getting all like almost, 98, 99% of crypto users in, and then funneling them into, the paid version with like, that kind of ultra value for DeFi power users, right? So really, really killer. And yeah, Whale, do you have anything to kind of add to that, or?
Yeah, so one thing that I would say is that by data is gold in crypto, like in investing in general. And I think that by using this app, you might see the consequences of your decisions, and not saying consequences as a bad thing, just like you do something and then there's a reaction to that. So when you can visualize it, it makes your life so much easier, because then you can see like, oh yeah, that was a bad idea, and then you can go back and see how much money you started, how much is now, and you can like backtrack and see what happened. The same thing that Stephen was saying, like you buy, and I don't know, after 6 months, it's impossible to remember at what price you bought. So by doing this, you just take the time, put it in there, and then it's all there. And you can see exactly. Two things that I would add is when you have different exchanges and different wallets, sometimes it's hard to know like where your investment is standing, if it's all over the place. And then if you can actually see that you're 500% up, I mean, for example, I've been buying XRP since 20 cents or something. So even if we have a 30% drop, I am so chilled because I can actually see what's going on. So that makes me decide on a rational manner instead of an emotional manner. Because if it was at 360 and now it's only at 270, I might freak out. But if I'm like, yo, hold on, like I bought at 50 cents, I do not have to stress. And I think that every single aspect that you can remove the emotions from the actual decision making is going to make you a better investor.
Totally agree. And like when you're like looping your positions, if you're, like an Aave bro, and I was telling you last night that I have been in that position, right, where I had a really good entry, really good spot entry, and started putting it into Aave and was like borrowing against it and looping it, and then let's say my health, my like loan health or goes to like 1.4 to like 1.15 in a day because there's a red day and I freak out, but like actually if I was able to like see the entire position every time I added when my average buy on that asset was, then I'm not going to freak out. And it's like, all right, I'm actually not losing money here. Like if I made $1,000, maybe I'm just losing out on maybe 100 or 200 of that profit, and I'm still up $800. And I know for a fact that this has happened to me where I've like kind of panicked in that scenario because I'm doing so many different things, and maybe my buys are really spread out, maybe different wallets, different exchanges. and panicked, and then like quick unlooped my position and, cut my losses when I could have maybe had a different approach or just maybe a little bit more data. Like like you said, right? The data is king, or data is gold, and remove some of that emotion for sure. So what about the origin story, right? So, I know you guys kind of told me there was like a kind of a three-part shift, right? You started off in one tool or one builder, switched to Replit, and then after watching us, and maybe not to like pat myself on the back, but I like kind of said it multiple times. Like I didn't just suggest it one time. Like I'm pretty sure I said it multiple times and even got in the DMs with you guys. I was like, yo, switch to Cursor. It's going to change the way you look at this. And I think I felt like a dick, but I'm so glad I pushed, because that push seemed like it might have been one of the catalysts to kind of like leapfrog you guys to the next level. So if you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so I would say like early November of last year, we kind of started, because again, AI has been around a while. So we started playing around with Excel, trying to figure out how we could use Gemini's Excel and create a real spreadsheet just for us to track our own, like, are we making good decisions? I'm trying this tool out. I don't know if like this, I forgot the name. Rainlang is actually making me money. I don't have a clue because I don't have no way to track it. So we were trying to build this in Excel, but really it was too difficult. So we kind of tabled that for a little bit, and then Canva in the December of this year, when they did their big launch, they launched an AI builder app program, and so we were like, cool, let's try this out. And we couldn't get it past the first prompt. It was so garbage. And so we're like, you know what? AI is just not there right now. Like, we like the idea, but it's just not there. And so shortly thereafter, somebody had mentioned Replit, but I'd already had such a bad experience with Canva. I was like, I'm not worried about it. And then Whale had shared a stream from you guys, said, man, check this out. And we kind of seen how you guys used AI to code in something, and you guys had mentioned Cursor and Replit. And dude, we went and tried Replit, and it was off to the races from there. Replit came with its own issues. For sure, there's, as you're beginning and you have zero coding experience, Replit is very nice. But the things it does in the back end sucks. Like, we had some bad customer service experience with them, so we moved to Cursor, and we spent like a month unscrewing everything that Replit had created in the back end that we didn't know existed. So, but it was an incredible experience and a journey. Definitely one that I enjoyed, and we've always had a good time. So that's kind of been what I would say our evolution has been. Well, what do you got for me?
Yeah, no, I feel like at some point I have heard coders saying how bad vibe coding was and how frustrating. So I remember Steven trying to do the thing in Canva, and I was just completely dismissing him. I was like, yeah, bro, you're wasting your time. And then when I saw your stream, I was like, okay, so this is actually doable. Like, this actually works. Let's give it a try. But I think that the biggest change, more than moving to Cursor, because that was a force move, actually. Like, we didn't intend to do it. It was more like Replit messed up the whole thing, messed up our GitHub. It completely froze. We couldn't unlock the agents. There was no reply from the customer service. So we had to take the leap into Cursor. But I think, like, if I would be able to thank you guys for something, would be version control on GitHub.
Which was our last 8 weeks ago. Like that, like we met like 8 or 12 weeks ago, and that was one of the things you guys again helped us out with when we did a stream, was version control. And it was
It's funny because like you guys mentioned it, and you guys mentioned it like you made a point for me to listen about GitHub. And then two other friends kind of brought it up in the last couple of days. And then we did it, and then I think Replit drugged us for the first time like 3 days later. So we could have
So it's like,
lost we
go
could have
ahead.
lost the whole process. We could have lost the whole process if we hadn't done that.
Right. And you guys weren't the only ones that were going through those kind of problems at the exact same moment in time. There was like a AI SaaS startup. The founder has like a pretty large personal brand, and he basically got rugged, and he hadn't set up a GitHub, and it basically was kind of the same aha moment for him, right? It's like, oh shit, like I can't really, like, yeah, Replit screwed me over, but this was a lesson in version control, and he went viral. He went so viral that the Replit CEO like quote tweeted his like viral post, and I don't, maybe apologize or like acknowledge the situation. And then a couple weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, they did like some major updates. And so, yeah, that was a big problem. And I don't know the numbers, but I bet they lost a lot of users. You guys told me how much you had spent in Replit before.
Almost $2,000.
That was income they could have kept. They could have kept getting that from you if they wouldn't have rugged you, right? So
The interesting
Cursor
thing is
gets,
that Cursor is much cheaper and much more efficient.
yes,
Even
much
cheaper.
cheaper, much more efficient. And the visibility, right? Like you said, Replit built all this stuff into the back end that you didn't even know existed. And Replit does, like, you can actually see if you like dig, you have to click a few buttons, but it basically hides the code base from you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like our ENV file was public and we didn't even know, like we didn't know anything about it or learned anything about it. But man, yeah, like it just put our ENV file public. We had no idea like what that meant or how that, and when we got the Cursor, all of a sudden we started learning a little bit more about, there's a security approach you got to have and things we learned about this whole thing.
And I really think the only real mistake you guys made was you didn't say make it good in your first prompt. That was that's kind of like a vibe coding meme, like make it good or make it secure.
Make it work.
But,
make it work.
Make it work. Yes,
Make it
exactly.
work.
Trav,
Hey,
what do you think, brother?
Yeah, real quick. I just want to dive in here in the spirit of onboarding brand new users who've never coded, who've never vibe coded before. Can you just explain what exactly GitHub is and how it relates to the actual vibe coding process on like Replit or any of the other apps you guys use?
That's all
For
you
sure. I feel like, well, next week we're going to have more of a technical talk. So I'm just going to try to do like an overview, but GitHub is a
TLDR is
place
great.
where you can store versions of your code. You can create branches, which you can like say, okay, I have a working state. I'm going to create a branch. So that branch gets separated and then you can keep working. So think about this as versions. And then you can make changes. You can sync. You can do all of these things. And I think the problem with Replit is that it doesn't tell you that those things need to happen. So I think if you're creating a website, just like if I was just making the website for the Flare Forward, talking about the podcast and everything, Replit would be more than enough. But once you start having more serious stuff, you do need to have more control. Like just today, I was trying to fix a price feed, and I realized that I had hard-coded prices set up like 3 months ago that I didn't even know that they were there. So that was like a mess up from Replit that now, like trying to debug and figure it out, I was able to find it. So yeah, if you're creating any kind of software, GitHub is worth taking the time learning how to use it. It's not that crazy once you understand what it is, but it definitely takes a little bit to wrap your head around it, especially when you have 2 or 3 people working at it.
Understood. But I imagine having conversations with like ChatGPT or something would be like a great way to actually learn about it, ask questions, get them answered and things like that.
For sure. I mean, I think that right now with AI, like if you don't know something, you can ask it and it will at least get you off the ground. Like maybe it won't make you an expert in the topic, but at least will get you started. And you can also use it to help troubleshoot. And yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do there.
Yeah, even Cursor's gotten really good. Like some of their most latest improvements allows you to help do conflict resolution and management for your GitHub stuff. I mean, that's where we really got sideways earlier when we first got into GitHub. It's like, hey, which version do you want to keep? It's got arrows between the codes that you should decide to keep. And we had no idea what we were doing. So we just deleted the arrows. And all of a sudden the entire thing just crashed because we kept everything. Like we didn't remove any conflicts. We just said it's all going. We're shipping everything. And yeah, it was terrible. It was a learning experience there for sure.
Imagine a learning experience you only have to learn once for something like that. Hey?
Well, the thing is that we had the version control, so we like lost 2 or 3 days of work, but we had 99% of the app. If we hadn't done that, like it would have been a nightmare because what happened is that Steven was working in one like part of the app and I was working on a different part of the app, and the same files were being written. So all of a sudden he had a completely different code than mine. And then when we tried to merge them, it was just a mess, just a
Disaster.
royal mess, I would say.
Excellent.
Hey, well, like Trav said, I mean, you gotta, yeah, it's almost like you gotta learn, right? Like you gotta put your hand in the fire before you know what a burn feels like. So, and it's funny, right? I can totally like picture traditional developers kind of rolling their eyes at this, and I've seen, in some of my, version control posts too, which is funny. That proves that of how actually important it is, right? When like traditional devs like laugh and or kind of think like, oh my god, I can't believe that you don't know this, right? Like my guy Curves, if you're listening, you probably felt the same way. But that means it's important, and it's pretty cool. There's a few new tools that are out actually that could maybe like help you learn GitHub, or have your AI agent inside Cursor talk to GitHub documentation so it knows like the most updated ways to navigate GitHub too. Little nugget for another time, maybe even a thread idea there too. So what do you think? Should we jump into the
Let's do it.
I would
All
love to
right,
see it.
cool. So here, this is the login page. I just created this email just to make it a demo. So we're going to press sign in. This is going to be the first thing that you're going to see when you enter. So everything here is new, so you have nothing. But
This is a
here you're going to be able
this is
to.
a paid version, guys, just so you know, versus the free version.
And if
Yes,
you want access to the paid version for 4 weeks, check out the promo code on top of the screen right now. It's all yours.
correct. All right. So, I mean, this is going to be very similar to the free version. You won't have this DeFi portfolio aspect. So you're going to have the wallet portfolio. Wallets are going to be the same. And this is where we're going to start. So here I'm going to say, okay, I have Uphold. And then I can set up here that it's an exchange. One thing that I would recommend, guys, for security measures, we are not ready to tackle them. So I'm going to be completely honest with you and say it. I would recommend that you use a bogus email, like an email that does not have your name. And I would also recommend that you do not press the wallet address. If you want, you could put like the 4 last digits, but just trying to be honest about what are our concerns and how you can protect it. So if there's no way to connect your name to your wallet, then this is just information. There's no really security risk. There is no
exactly?
wallet
And let me Yep,
Go ahead.
boom. You took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say, yeah, the best part about the entire app, whether you're the free or the paid version, you aren't actually connecting your wallet directly. So there is 0% risk that this would like open you up to any vulnerabilities to, yeah, any for if for some reason their code base were to get compromised, like you are absolute zero risk for private keys to get leaked or anything like that.
Yeah, this is a Web 2 app. This is no Web 3. Like, even though we're talking about Web 3 stuff, this is 100% like an internet as you know it app. There's no
Gotcha.
there's no security risk in that aspect. All right.
Do you guys plan on integrating more of like a Web3 component to it?
Yeah, we would love to, but we need to have the funds to be able to do it securely, because we understand that once you're dealing with other people's money, the risk becomes so much greater. And I do not want to have to even take that risk. So
I
unless we
respect
are
that.
fully ready to tackle both the technical and the economical implications of having the audits and an expert to do the code base and the security, I'm not even going to touch it. So it will come. I just don't know when. All right. So here I created 2 wallets. Like I said, you can be anything because this is just a nickname, and then you can set up what kind of a wallet it is, and that's it. So basically you can create any wallet. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold, an exchange, whatever you want. And then here you press add asset. In this case, let's say that I'm going to buy XRP. So in this case, let's say that I bought 1,000 XRP and that my average purchase price, let's say that it's 50 cents, just to do it. Here I deposit it to a wallet. I'm going to say that it's in Bifrost. And then here, in this case, because it's a new, the date doesn't matter. But as you add new assets, then you would put the purchase date so you can have a registry of all your buys. So this is the easiest one. The price takes a minute. In a second, you will see the price updating. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you is what happens if you have an asset that is not in the list. So in this case, let's go to XRP Ledger. Here, I want to add Shahao. I don't know how do you spell it or how to pronounce it. So it's not in the list. So you can say create new asset. In this case, I would say Shahao. here I'm going to use Coinbase.
And so while he's doing that, guys, kind of the use case or for this is, you know, in most similar, you know, more like common trackers or more like the trackers that have been around for a while. Often you're kind of stuck with like the majors, and so this is for the degens out there, right? If you're trading, you know, Shiba Inu retard dog man
Meme coin.
slash
Any meme
ETH,
coin, XRPL meme
yeah,
coin, doesn't make a difference.
yeah, then you can drop it in, right? So that's awesome. I love that. And then obviously, if you don't remember your entry, just go on, look on chain and or deck screener and kind of can find that entry to plug it in.
That, and then I just want to reiterate as well here, the main use case that I'm taking away from this is, like you said, data will maximize your mind space, which will maximize your profits. And it was such an important lesson for me to learn that applies not only to like day trading, scalping situations, but also for like LP positions, you know, be having that peace of mind that, and like not allowing your mind to kind of hijack your trade is 99% of the challenge of being successful in trading. So I just want to give you guys a huge shout out for that. Yeah, people fade trading psychology like the plague. And it's just crazy. The irony is that will impact your trade and your profits 10 times more than any other element of trading. It's absolutely wild here.
Honestly, think that's like 99% that, honestly. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, I was going to say, Whale put this in, and he put this in a very, I think, a fantastic way because it allows us to scale, right? So what this does is it adds the price feed. So you as a user instantaneously get it. And then it sends us a notification of the information that was added. And then we go to our back end and we approve whether or not we want the functions set up the way they are. If we do, then it automatically populates to everybody in the entire ecosystem. So now that asset isn't just there for you, but it's for everybody. So as we scale, our goal is as we scale the free wallet and we get all these users who are using, you know, these odd and end tokens and stuff that we don't use or we're not active with, it's not going to make a difference because it becomes available for everybody as they help us grow the database.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Also, real quick, completely pivoting the conversation literally for 25 seconds here. This specific stream is now ranking on the top 5 live streams currently on air on X right now at 158 views.
That's our second time.
Let's go. All right, back at you guys.
All right, so I'm still working on the price logic. I actually changed the whole price fetching logic from like this week. So this one is not reading right now, but I just wanted to show you how it works. So I will get it sorted out this weekend. But basically, what Steven said is like, if you have a token that is not in the list, you can send a request. It becomes available for you right away. And then me on the back end, I make sure that the token is good. I will go fetch different price feeds from different APIs and then put them in. And then once I approve it, it becomes available for everybody. So at some point, we would be able to have this be everywhere because like we could potentially get every network on every DEX platform, every protocol, any token. So that would be a dream.
You guys
Nope. And that's the other thing. We also have like a network available to add. Like, so if the network's not there, there's the ability to also add a missing network that we might not have because you got all these new networks spinning up. There's a process to go through there as well. It's in the same section. And, you know, we can add multiple networks in the same fashion.
And that's a huge advantage compared to so many other Web3 based apps. You know, like for example, there's one I use frequently. I'm not going to drop any names because I absolutely respect the crap out of this app and it's amazing. But the data is very limited for Solana based tokens. And that's simply because it doesn't have access to it. With something like this, the users are able to plug in that information that they want to see. And all you guys have to do is approve it. You're not limited by network. And I think that's huge for anyone who loves to geek out about DeFi like myself here. So respect once again.
All right. So once we have the wallets, so this is part of the free version, the wallet, you have full functionality. You can use any asset, any wallet. That's part of the free version. So now we go to the liquidity pools.
You want to do the profit strategy first for the free version?
Sure. Okay. So if you are in the free version, you're not going to see liquidity pools and lending and borrowing. And then you could go here to the profit strategy. And then here is going to show you the tokens that you already have on your wallets. And then the other thing that you can do here is that I can say $5, I'm going to sell 25% of my holdings. At $10, I'm going to sell 30% of my holdings. And then at $30, I'm going to liquidate my holdings. So this is completely customizable. And then when you press save targets, here it gives you an overview of like how many tokens I would need to sell. So remember, I started with 1,000. My average buy price is 50 cents. So it tells me, okay, at the first target price, I'm going to sell 250 tokens, which is 25. I still have 750. This is my P&L. And then it tells me everything. And then at the end, it tells me that I would have 0 tokens remaining. And my total profit would be 150. So this is just an example. And this is completely customizable. And this can give you some kind of idea of like, okay, so if I sell here, this is how much I made. And like I said, it's just data makes things easier because you have that information that otherwise just becomes
Especially
really hard.
before your trade too. Like,
Yes.
yeah, that's so huge because once you're in the trade, even you could almost have all the tools in front of you, but you're still kind of clouded by that emotion and judgment. And the example I know is like trading leverage, right? You know, trading like high leverage on either just Bitcoin or Ethereum in the majors, but being able to like, okay, here's my limit order, here's where my take profit is, here's where my stop is, all before I even set my limit order or my order gets filled. And this is just that kind of that next level of understanding a position because most, you know, if you're especially trading kind of like less popular coins, you're not going to have that, you know, UI available to you most likely.
And
For sure.
100%.
and
And
that's why I
if I
think
can
that
just add, sorry guys, real
go
quick
ahead.
here, if 99% of a successful trade is psychology, 0.9% is having a solid plan. And if your psychology is solid, then you will stick to your plan, and the odds of you winning increase exponentially. So back at you guys. Appreciate
For
you.
sure. All right.
Hold up before you go too far. So I was, as I was kind of saying earlier, like our free version fits everybody. Like I see a lot of influencers, again, who are not degens, like they're not doing centralized finance. They talk about buying and then selling certain amounts of your bag as you kind of go along. So this has been the cryptos mindset for a very, very long time, especially the active trader cryptos, like not the buy and just hold till, you know, infinity, right? But the active users of crypto. And so that's why we say like this fits like the majority of all crypto users because this is what they're used to doing, buying a certain number of their bags or a certain number of the tokens. Like I said, Whale did 100%, but you know, you could do that down to like, hey, I'm just going to give 25%, 30%. And you know, at the end, you want to have 3,000 tokens left or 300 tokens left. So you can manage that percent to make sure that you have your bag left at the end that you want and you pulled off the price targets. So we love this. The fact that, you know, like I said, a lot of big influencers do that type of trading right now.
All right. So let's say that I created a pool that's been active for 12 days just to show you. And then today I go do a pool check. And then here I would say that I have 8,500 and I have 250. I don't know.
You also just do a screen, you know, take a screenshot and upload it. Like that's what the other thing is up there.
Correct. But I don't have a position, but just to show you how it works, let's say that I made $10 in fees.
That's option.
Like
you can leave that blank.
500 and then like 5 and then you update position. So right now I would be able to see if I go to my view pool, it says the hodl value versus the LP value.
That's cool.
Yeah, available to claim. In Flare, we have RFLR rewards that are incentives. You can claim it there. It gives you your daily fees, your monthly fees, and your yearly fees.
Oh, that's
You have
fantastic.
all that information, like your initial. So it's pretty cool. And then you have the history here. And then after that, if I go to borrowing and lending, I can also create like a, let's say that I do here. Hold on. Here it is. Sorry. So I'm going to use kinetic
That
lending.
screenshot analysis is pretty badass too, I gotta say. So
Yeah,
you literally
yeah.
just take a screenshot of your position, upload it, and it'll analyze it and plug all this in for you.
Yep,
You
exactly.
just, yeah. You just,
Yes.
like that, like we would love to automate it, but the first step to automation was AI reader. And that was our first
For sure.
initial, and it's beautiful. Like here's the cool thing. Like we actually, because we vibe coded, so we got pre-prompt, so we can teach the AI like, hey, if the user selects Enosis and then sends you a screenshot. Here's what you should be looking at for that screenshot to report the data, because the data is different from Gnosis and SparkDex. So now we've actually curtailed the prompts down to where we're getting the information from, so that it's extremely accurate when it's reporting it. Took us a while to figure it all out and how we wanted to get it, but that's the amazing thing about vibe coding is you're not limited by like, how can I make the code work? You're going, I want you to do this, and you're going to do it. Like, that's it. Like this isn't even up for discussion. How do we make it happen? And it's
love
just
that.
so cool because there's no guardrails when you don't know. Like, you just don't know what you don't know, and you're just making it try to do stuff. It's incredibly fun.
Yeah, so
That's
if
so cool.
if your DEX or lending and borrowing doesn't work, you can go up here, send suggestion, and then please send us a few screenshots so that then we can train the AI to support that specific DEX, because that's one thing that we can't scale automatically. But once
Awesome.
we got it going, it's going to work.
And if I can just drop a quick thought here on all of this so far, you know, some people might be a bit butthurt that they don't have like the automatic uploads to this, but my contrarian view on that is I almost appreciate that this is manual, because it forces you to take time to reflect on the positions that you have, to keep them up to date. So you're forced to actually go back, look at them, keep track of them, and it just allows you to just be more
involved.
responsible, be involved, exactly, and forces you to stay updated on what you're doing responsibly with your funds, with your liquidity. So I'm like,
100%.
for someone who has a brain that works like myself with raging ADHD, I appreciate being forced to do stuff like this. This will very much make me a better trader.
And it's also going to make you pay attention and understand how the dynamics works, because if you just see
Yes.
the pool and you don't really
Brilliant.
understand, but when you start seeing how the impermanent loss is moving throughout the prices, what's the fees doing, what's the APR, it just makes your decision making so much easier.
And it totally reminds me to, like, even just I took some time off trading, about a year, because I need, my mental health wasn't where it needed to be, but I still every single day spend some time looking at charts. And by doing that, by just looking at the charts, the price action, the percentages go up and down, that's getting your miles in, that's getting your reps in. So by the time I was ready to get back into trading with actual liquidity, I was so much more equipped, just because I had that exposure, I had that experience. So definitely don't be fading that. It's just getting those reps in, getting those miles in will bring you leaps and bounds. Even if you only do it for 10, 15 minutes a day, it's immensely powerful.
Yeah. Okay, so we have lending and borrowing. Same thing here. You can do any network and any borrowing and lending. We already have coded in like the main ones on Base, on Ethereum, on Sui and everything. But if there's not, yeah, you can let us know if you have a problem. And then finally, you have the leverage buy. So for example, let's say that I supply 26,000 SFlare, which is $900, and then I borrow $300, and then I'm going to buy, yeah, let's buy more XRP. So I'm going to say $300, and then I got 500 XRP. So that means that I bought it at 0.60, just to the date doesn't matter. And then here you can also deposit
the math for you.
Yes, right.
So this is one of my favorite things to track. So in this case, I can see that I bought at 60 cents. Right now it's at 303. So I'm 400% up. I'm $1,200 up. And that's what we were saying earlier. Like, let's say the price retraces to 250. From seeing this value in my wallet to seeing, I don't know, $900, I might freak out, because I think one thing that we have learned is that you get used to seeing these values. You know, like if you have $1,000 and now you have 5,000, the first days you're going to be so pumped. But if those $5,000 are there for a few weeks, then you don't have that effect anymore. So then if it goes to 4,000, you're like, I'm losing money, when in reality, you're not losing money. You're just missing out on unrealized gains, which is like, we're never going to get the perfect top.
No. So can I ask you a quick question here? So once you actually plug in the price action, the buy price and all of that, does it automatically update like XRP's price action?
Yeah. Like this is the current price right now.
That is the current price. And how often does that like refresh?
All the time.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's refreshing consistently. I don't know exactly how long it is, because that's been one thing that's why I'm trying to fix, because before we were using CoinGecko and Dex Screener as the API for fetching the prices. And now we talked about this with Kobe yesterday, that what I'm trying to figure out is if I can input different sources for prices and then have a system to randomize which API is calling, to have less calls into one service. And that way we can bypass the paid. Like, we will pay for it at some point, but right now we're not there yet. So how can we fix it? And I think Kobe was asking me, like, if you had money, I would have never thought about this, because I would have just paid for the service.
Yeah, that's so huge. I can't stress that enough, right? Like,
Efficiency.
that is such a non-traditional, right? Like, solution, right, Steven? Like, if you had 10K or 50K or whatever it is, and you were building it, and you were outsourcing help, or even if you were just building it yourself and but you had like funds dedicated to the build, you would have not even how do I solve this problem? It would have not even been a problem, right? And I was telling Will last night, like, that's something that I've experienced too, as like a vibe coder with, -$1. I'm -$1 in my checking account today. It is payday though. And so I'm forced to do things like that, right? Like, use all the free trials. If I want to make an AI app, well, I have to use every single, API that I can like get a certain amount set for free, and then have it, maybe use OpenRouter to pick that which LLM. And actually, Will, I meant to actually say this last night, but I could maybe provide some insight. Like, I would love to kind of help or tell you how I would solve that, as far as like the frequency of the like API calls, and like when, and like caching that data too, so you don't something that I for sure can offer some help with after the stream or whatever, another day. So killer. So are we where we is that do you have anything else to show on the demo? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, so basically we're free. So now that we come back to the dashboard, now that we have information all over the place, I have my DeFi portfolio. I know that I have 4 active positions. This is my P&L, so I can know that I'm 285% up. My daily fees, my monthly fees, my yearly fees,
Wow.
daily APR, monthly APR, yearly APR, the current value. And then here I have like my wallets and everything that's going on. So yeah, it's just like it's a great tool to just have information about what's going on in the crypto market.
Another question here for you. First of all, I love that it breaks it down all the way down to the daily APR. I think that's huge. Is there an option to swap between APR and APY?
Not yet. But I think that the APY can be tricky, because then you're assuming that the user is compounding. And I feel like that is one trick that DEXs use, that they show you, like, if you compounded every single cent. And
Okay.
and I don't know if it's like the best strategy, to be honest. I feel like how I see with DeFi is like, you have one business, it cash flow. Now you have 2 businesses, it cash flow. Now you have 4 businesses, opposed of just growing the same business over and over and over. So
Understood.
I feel like, yeah, I think that APR is more realistic. And then if you're compounding, then it's going to update your APR automatically. While if you have APY and you're not compounding, then your performance is going to be less than like what it's showing in the screen.
Strategic. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely strategic choice there. And also, like, I can't, these guys' like background in terms of at least flare forward, right? Like, it's an education first, like they, that's kind of was their mission, or still is their mission. And of course, jump in and correct me if I say anything wrong, but the power of compounding, right? Like, the power of compounding is something that's really, really important in DeFi. And, I have one friend right now that he's been doing some trades and success, like, spot trading pretty successfully, because he does have a larger bag, at least for some of us, trading with like $10,000 or $15,000 spot positions. And sometimes he asks me about TA, right? Like, what do you see in this chart? and oh, I'm not going to trade for a couple weeks, and I keep suggesting like, hey dude, like take that 15K and stake it and compound it every 12 hours, and here's the math, and you could buy yourself a coffee every day. Maybe that doesn't seem like a lot, but the power of compounding cannot be scoffed at. And if you want to learn more, I would start with signing up for this app, for the free version. You don't have to connect your wallet or anything. There's a QR code on the screen, right on the screen. There's also a code in the first comment. And on top of that, follow these guys, right? Follow the Flare Forward account, follow DeFi Tracker, follow their personal accounts. Ace is another founder. He's in the comment section. He is at work today. But yeah, follow all of them, and even I would start signing up. I would start with signing up for the app. It's free. You don't, no risk. And then the second step is I would see what type of resources, like educational resources, these guys have, because it all kind of ties back to the same thing, right? It's this one like ecosystem of just an ecosystem that kind of feeds off each other, right? Like the education, it's education, right? For Web3, and the app visualizes the things that you're learning in the education, right? So it's kind of this like symbiotic relationship between the two deals there. Do you think that was accurate, Steven?
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, our big push is the DeFi Tracker, the free version. And then, well, if you'll do the drop down up at the top there, we have quick access to, our university. And if you're looking to upgrade, and also our affiliate type program, we're very, very big into paying it forward to people who help us grow as an ecosystem. And so we have a very, very nice referral program where we do 20% of the revenue we get. And the really cool thing, like I said, that again, we thought about this as a whole and how to add values. You could send your friend your affiliate link that you've made and say, hey, check it out, do the free version. I know you're not decentralized trading or anything else. And then within a year, if they upgrade, they automatically get added, and you start getting 20% of that revenue from them for that product. So it's just a really great way that we've tried to build it in the way that you can share value with somebody, and then you're also going to get a lot of value back by just taking a few minutes to share that value with them.
Yeah, that's genius, man. Thinking about kind of that like end, like almost reverse engineering that user experience, or like the customer journey, I guess, is like what traditional like marketers and UX people would say. But yeah, that's really, really smart. Kind of some insight for people that are getting into building apps. Like think about the end and then work backwards when you're like planning and like ideating. Like think about the end result and then work backwards. Often traditional developers will do it the other way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But since they're like technical first, they'll immediately start thinking about tech stack and all these other decisions that we'll actually talk about on next week's stream. But those are just as important. But sometimes you'll make decisions when building, not thinking about, oh, is this going to make it difficult, or am I not going to be able to do X, Y, or Z that I kind of want to in version, the finished V1 or V2 or V3. So definitely just
We
some
talk about that all the time, the user experience. Like that is a big forefront. Well, and I have lots of discussions, even on the layout of like, is it easy to use? And then we do a bunch of stuff. We're like, oh man, this is terrible. Like I need to update 5 different positions, and I'm like, they're all over the place. Like they're in the right area, but they're based in wallets, and wallets are entirely different sets. So no, it's all for us about user experience. What's up, Will?
I love that.
So I have a question for you, Trav.
Yes.
Would you rather have $100 million net worth and 0 cash flow, or 0 net worth and 20K a month?
Ooh, 0 net worth, 20K a month.
Absolutely. And I think that
easy.
is the thing that, like, coming back to what Kobe was saying, I have a friend, she got divorced, got a shit ton of money. She bought this property of land, which is gorgeous, and she has 0 cash flow, and it's a massive liability because keeping that place, it costs her a lot of money, and she's really
Yeah.
struggling. So she's worth, I don't know, $9-10 million, but she has 0 cash flow. And I feel like this is where we're moving at with DeFi, that like there's no point in having millions of dollars in your DeFi portfolio where if you sell, you're going to get taxed, and now you have less because you sold, so you are out of the asset, and now you also have to pay cash. So all of a sudden your net worth get cut by 40 or 50%, and you're out of the game. If you do this, if you learn to do DeFi, you can have that wealth work for you, and then you convert crypto from a liability into an asset. And I think that is extremely powerful.
I love that. And real quick, just to get back real quick to user experience, I just want to give a quick shout out to Crypto Optimist, who mentioned in the chat here that Crypto Optimist uses the screenshot feature all the time, and it's wonderful. So a little bit of feedback there for you guys. And then also real quick, we are officially pushing in on 250 viewers of this live stream. We are competing for third and second place of the streams being most watched right now on X. We were in third for a while here, but a new stream just popped up with Real Vision, and they're just viral as per usual here. But we are in strong contention. We are back and forth with number 3. And actually, to be honest, between all 3 of our destinations where this stream is being aired live, we are beating them by at least 50 views. So suck it, verified investing.
All right. So one of the things I think is really cool is we love input, right? We get a lot of input from users. That's why we got the send suggestion up there, or send bugs. We actually had a user, tell us how great the site was. He was like, I'd love, instead of having to do an upload or a drag and drop, I'd love to paste, right? Just copy and paste.
That's
The
cool.
beautiful, amazing thing about vibe coding and kind of what we've done, like, for a particular build, that might be 6 weeks before they could roll out something like that. We had it out in 2 or 3 hours. And that, the only reason it took that long is because, one of us got out of work. It's like, that's a great idea. Ace plugged away at it. Within half an hour, he had it ready to launch. Like, the speed to taking somebody's suggestion, which we love all those suggestions, into action is so much fun. One of the things we're actually building, which you guys don't get to see right now, is an arbitrage feature, which means that you can plug in information from different areas, and you can set the system to set you an alert when there's an arbitrage opportunity for the particular product you're looking for. So,
That's
our goal is, how do
massive.
we add value? How do we give you information to make good decisions? And a lot of that feedback comes from, some of the people who are using it. And it's really, really fun to be able to take those strategies and just see them implemented within. Some of them take longer than others. Like our famous last words are, "This is going to be simple." Like anytime we say that, dude, like we had a night and day feature, and we're like, let's just go with the night. And so we got rid of it. And then one of the users said, I love this app. Got a lot of older people who are going to use it. I would love to have the light feature. And so we're like, that'll be easy. It was already there, man. It's no biggie. Already there. Dude, it's how long did it take you to put that feature back in, Whale?
Dude, I will say, I will actually say that having light and dark mode, and or the ability to do to just do the system default, having that's actually more complex than it might seem at face value. It's yeah, and maybe that's a tutorial idea that I should do, because it's tricky. And there's all these little things that Whale probably encountered when trying to do that.
Yeah, this little change took me 2 days of beating my head against the wall. And I hate it. I hate light mode. Like any app that doesn't offer a dark mode, I hate it. But I see that people really enjoy it. For me, it should be illegal to not offer a dark mode.
I think so too.
Get
I actually
outta
used
here.
to be so strong, have such a strong opinion like you about, only in dark mode ever. And then I must be getting old, because my eyes are killing me most days. And for some reason, light mode actually, the guy must have said something about old people. Yeah, that's actually a thing, the light mode, but I do have to turn the brightness down. But it actually, I'm finding myself use dark or light mode way more than I used to. Shout out to a previous co-founder of mine, Kemor. He was that strong opinion about dark mode. But anyways, I digress on that. I do have a question here for you guys, but first, Trav, any feedback or anything you want to drop in, or anything from our guests?
Burning thought to share here. Actually, after my brain started to just fire once you mentioned that you're trying to integrate the arbitrage information. And I remember about maybe 6 months to a year ago, or probably even closer to a year ago, when I was being more consistent in our Web3 Matters newsletter. Shout out Web3 Matters newsletter. One of the things that I was talking about, writing an article about, was flash loans and actually creating your own bots to take advantage of arbitrage. And back then, I never followed through with it because that actually required coding. Now that vibe coding is a thing, I've got some I want to revisit this, and I will
Dude, I built
absolutely be
one
using.
before. I've made
That's right.
$20. I've made
You told me this.
$23. A flash loan attacker, I think is technically what you
Yes.
call it.
Okay. I want to speak
But
to our audience for 2 seconds. Can I speak to our audience for 2
do
seconds?
it.
If you guys want to learn how to make a flash loan arbitrage bot, drop it in the comments. Let us know. We'll do it live on stream, and I can't freaking wait. Back at you, my friend.
I want to learn.
Your whale wants to learn?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. That's a really good idea. And it's,
Right?
yeah, it's another kind of crossover, like Web3 vibe coding crossover, which is exactly kind of that pocket that we live in right now. So that's,
and the coolest thing, I'm sorry, I'm getting really excited. I'm just cutting off everyone. So I'm actually taking Quantic's spot because he will 100% cut you off at any point during this live stream. So shout out to you, Quantic. Is that the cool thing about flash loans is that you can lend and borrow as much as you want, essentially, in one single transaction. So
no collateral needed.
No collateral needed, no funds. I guess just enough for gas fees, essentially, is all you need. But you could basically profit just with the enough funds to actually just pay for gas fees, which is sweet. I want to get into it. Let's freaking go. Back at you guys. I'm sorry,
Honestly,
I derailed the
man,
conversation.
I'm so glad you guys brought that up, and we're definitely going to do that. And
Yeah.
you guys can join us too for sure if you want to. But I actually need your help because the reason I stopped is because, well, one, I just was like, yo, I'm like, don't have any money for gas, and I'm scraping the bottom floor here for like 20 cents. Like, okay, I gotta just like kind of give up on this for a while. But I am I'm less like tapped in to like the DeFi landscape as you guys are. And so using kind of like my knowledge on the build and then using your guys' knowledge on the DeFi side and kind of like, okay, what lending and borrowing platforms are the right ones to be using for this process is going to be huge. And maybe we can make some money together.
That sounds
absolutely
awesome.
Be a lot of fun, or at least the experiments figure it out. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That's the cool thing. Like that's the next thing on our roadmap is going to be an R&D section. Like I said, we have that one, which is going to trigger, but we're also going to build one based on like, pulling information and what we consider good quality, LPs, over 250,000 with this kind of volume and stuff like that, and be able to help people understand like ranking the LPs, the APYs and different things like that. And, so that's something Ace is putting together for us as part of our next, and that'll actually be, our goal is to make that free, right? So we want to put it on our website so that people are always kind of going to our website, and we're also going to build it automatically into the tracker as well. But we'd love to have that be a free tool that people can go to our site, go, hey, what's some good positions out there? What's the APYs for borrowing? Because if you go borrow USDT 0 or USDT, I mean, that's got a really bad APY. It'd be very dumb to borrow it. And understanding like, what's a good product? What is a good stable coin to borrow? What's the variations? And having that data helps you make better decisions on how you want to move forward for sure.
That is awesome. I'm so happy that we're getting back into actual DeFi conversations here. I actually just I hosted a founder of a company who's kind of rebuilding and rehashing the whole onboarding process for brand new users so that they can actually take advantage of DeFi. And that was just yesterday. And I think it's just, it's a match made in heaven that we're hanging out with you guys here today. I truly do think that within the next couple of months, DeFi is going to make a major comeback. So for all of you 200 and almost 60 viewers that we have with us right now, you guys are back being early when it comes to DeFi, and this is a great place to get started. Like we said in the beginning, and we're going to keep looping back to this idea of data and intel when it comes to DeFi is your number one friend and ally in this, in order to actually protect your portfolio and maximize your gains. And it's insane the amount of information that you guys are getting from here, even for free without using the pro plan. So yeah, just huge shout out to you guys.
So one thing that I would like to discuss, my friend Mr. Man, you can find him on X as Mr. Man on YouTube. He has like insane research on like legal aspects of crypto, like very serious, like no hype. And I show him the app, and then we actually got some feedback from him saying that he finally felt comfortable leaving cold storage and trying DeFi because he could actually see what was going on.
Wow.
So that was an incredible. And then from there, he got inspired and he created this using Replit. It's still a work in process. So for staking, he does like, you can go into any chain and check the validators, and then he has like a rating system where it tells you if they're like compliant, how much fees they're taking, what's the performance, and like many things that you can actually see and do research before you stake your precious tokens. So it's pretty cool.
That is huge. This is Mr. Man XRP.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm loving the Spider-Man PFP. Represent. I'd love to get
Yeah.
Mr. Man on here.
It's wild because he's like super serious guy. Like his research is so serious, but he's like, I'm just a guy with a Spider-Man mask.
That's fantastic.
Bro, the dichotomy, right? Or like the opposites. Yeah, shout out to him. It's kind of like the degen vibe coder or dropout story engineer, kind of those like 2 or 3 opposite words. Really. Yeah. So yeah, open invite, man. Mr. Man, if you're listening or if you're listening back to this recording, like definitely reach out to either myself, Trav, or these guys can connect us. Or the Web3 Matters brand account would probably be the best way to tap in. But yeah, we're definitely looking to bring more guests on in the coming future. We've got we're about 15 minutes past our normal time. I know we said that we weren't going to have a hard cutoff at noon. Yeah, it'd be, unless you guys want to add a few more things. I've got one question. I don't see any questions from the audience, but feel free, guys. Now would be the time if you do have any questions. No questions are a dumb question. Please drop them in the comments section. It can be technical. It can be Web3. It can be AI, whatever. It can just be mindset related, whatever you want. Please drop it in there. But I do have a question. Then we're going to talk about kind of the roadmap and like what's next for these guys. Talk about how you can get involved. What's the best way to get involved right now without spending any money or risking any of your assets. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to do next week. We're going to bring these guys back to have a go a little bit deeper into the build itself. Well, yeah, Whale, Steve. Good to go. Am I good to ask this next question, or do you guys want to add anything first?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So yeah, what advice would you guys give to anyone out there who wants to build their first app using AI? Whether it can be, whether it's Web3 or Web3 adjacent or not at all. Just, yeah, talk to kind of that person who has been watching our streams or seeing other vibe coded apps or people talking about it online. And maybe they even have that same mindset that you had after the Canva experience, right? Like, oh, AI is not there yet. Yeah, please.
So what I would say, the 2 things that I would say is, 1, create a solution for yourself. Like find a problem that you're having and try to solve it. Because if you have that problem, you understand that problem, and that is going to make you so much better. Like I was telling my mom always goes to the like worst case scenario, and she was like, but what if somebody just copies your app? And I was like, well, 1, they need the dedication, because we have spent maybe 300 or 500 hours each building this app in the last 3 or 4 months. So it's been a lot of dedication and a lot of like pushing past. And then 2, you need the technical knowledge to understand what you're actually trying to do, because AI is smart but dumb at the same time. So many times it would say, oh yeah, it's ready. So if I don't know what I'm doing, then I would just trust it and it's bad data. So I need to understand that that's wrong to do it. So my first recommendation is start small. Start with a little project that you find, like, I don't know, you're getting too many emails. Do something to filter out the most important ones. Whatever your problem is, try to solve it. And then from there, you're going to start getting experience and more knowledge to how to scale and make something bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Brilliant.
just,
Steven?
the only thing I would say is I'd echo Whale a little bit and just say, just start. I would say that, like I said, depending on your skill set, I don't know that I would suggest starting with Cursor. I mean, like I said, Replit, regardless, the experience was good and bad, right? It was a stepping stone that he and I both needed because, we didn't know how to start our own local servers. We didn't know what to do. And, to be honest, even though we had some basic understanding, went to Cursor, there was a learning curve. Like, well, fought it a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Like, well, was not exactly super excited about the whole cursor shift for a while, but we both knew whether or not we liked it or not, like the value was there because of how complex our build was. So if you're talking a simple build, Replit, like Will had said, is an amazing product. It's just, it has its limitations, and understand like where you want to stop and start with Replit. The beautiful thing is you can put it all in GitHub, and then everything you built, when you're ready to move to cursor, you just move it to cursor. Like there's no major issue with moving to cursor once you've established your build. But the user experience in Replit is so much better for the user experience of no knowledge of coding versus cursor. 100% Replit's setup is better than cursor for a novice with no coding
Oh
experience.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I would
Definitely
echo that
starting on
tenfold.
cursor would have been too much. Like I would have gotten discouraged to even start on cursor, because
Wow.
once I have a functioning app, I'm motivated to keep learning and keep upgrading. But at the beginning, if I
Setup's
had
tough.
gone into all of those issues, I would have not even started, to be honest.
It's like a painter looking at a blank canvas, or like a art versus like an art intern that is doing, I don't know, copying somebody else's, right? Or maybe their instructor did the outline and they just have to fill it in and do the shading and stuff like that. And then, there's tons of other options too. Like Replit is good, and it is like one of the leading web-based vibe coding tools. There's a ton of others out there. The kind of like direct competitor would be Lovable. And yeah, there's a handful of other ones, and I could go on for 10 minutes and talk about, what's good about each and blah blah blah, but I won't. I'll save you guys the that boring shill. But yeah, I do have a thread on my account of like the top 4 basically tools that people are using to vibe code, and I probably will dive deeper into that, as there is literally a new one every single week. And essentially, the way that you guys are wrapping DeFi, the same way that an app that I'm building, that Trav and I are building, which I'll keep that secret for now, is just wrapping existing tools out there. So yeah, so these vibe coding tools are just wrapping Claude code, right? They're mostly wrapping Claude code or GPT-5 API under the hood with a system prompt, and it's just about what tools they have access to, So that's great advice, you guys. That's great advice. Just get started, basically. What else did I miss, Trav?
Just get started. It's a good idea to start with Replit and then transition to, what was the name of the other one again? Remind me.
Cursor.
I'm terrible
Cursor.
with names. Cursor.
Yeah.
If you are, where once you actually start small, which is the third piece of alpha here, and then expand. And then the last point was try to actually solve a problem that you are having. Yeah, which I think is amazing. You'll educate yourself on what exactly the problem is, what it comprises. But then also, if you're having that problem, likely so many other people in the world are having that problem as well. So you've got that fallback. If you've made this tool for you that works super well, you can probably market that and make some profit off that as well, which is amazing. So yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, man. The old expression, right?
Sorry.
Eat your own dog food. Go ahead.
Eat your own dog food. I love dog food. I mean, shit, did I say that out loud? I'm not quite sure. Apologies.
The other thing is that I feel like sometimes with AI you have to be kind, and sometimes you just have to be like a complete a-hole. Like sometimes you're asking nicely and it doesn't work, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, I apologize, and then it fixes it. So yeah, good thing that they don't have feelings and they don't. Yeah.
It's so funny. I've had that issue when just prompting for like video edits and stuff like that as well. I am very distinctly say, I need you to do this, and it doesn't do it. I'm like, all right, listen, I've asked you 7 times now. You're not getting it. What the heck is your problem? And what can I say to you so that you will get it?
Pink. What are you doing, bro?
Come on, son. Ridiculous. I digress. Get back to it.
The cool thing with GPT-5, it is steerable, right? Like at least that model is like, yeah, it might actually like ignore some of the shit you say sometimes and like just do a different task, but it is one of the more steerable models that I've seen. And it kind of, I've been doing this daily, AI user since like 2023, right? So I've been forced to steer shit models for years, and now we still have a long way to go, but yeah, this one will for sure you're able to steer. Okay, cool. So yeah, next steps kind of for DeFi Tracker Pro, and the Flare Forward team. What's next? Kind of a roadmap situation.
Yeah, so we got a few products we're developing right now. Like I said, the R&D, the arbitrage, and then the trading section. And then, like I said, we built this actually to take this to Web3. Like the goal was not like this product was a good goal, but it's not the final product. Like we wanna hire a Web3 developer in the future to build. Like we're gonna say, all right, here's what we got. Make this happen on Web3 so that we create a great user experience in Web3. And so that's our goal with the DeFi Tracker Pro. We have our DeFi University, which is also going to fund one of our other builds that we're looking forward to as well, which is more of a Patreon Web3. So there isn't anything like that yet where people can, you know, sell their own product and sell their own courses and create NFTs to sell those, to create the login access and stuff like that. So that's kind of our roadmap of things we're trying to accomplish in the next coming weeks, what should I say, next year and a half. Like that's where we're trying to get these products into the Web3 industry. We're super excited about it. We like Web3 and really helping people understand as we get ready to hit this bull cycle and people start learning how to make that money work for them. We want them to make better decisions. And so like everything we learn, like we've got new stuff coming out with staking on Flare, and we've got different protocols. And so all these things are going to be added into the system so that people make better decisions.
Brilliant.
Well, yeah, absolutely brilliant. And I'll say it again. I love the fact that it's like it's very well thought out. Everything here, it's all in this kind of like same ecosystem where things are support products and services, and the brand itself is kind of all supporting like this one overarching mission, and they like have this crossover. So I love that. Anything else? All good there? Okay, cool. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming through. Like this was an amazing experience, not just for our listeners, which again, like that's our number one priority, is to bring value to you guys watching. Again, it is a lot. They're giving away a lot for free here. And who knows? I like, from what I can tell, that the free features will be free for forever. But I wouldn't wait, just because you're going to be able to get that stuff for free. I wouldn't wait, especially right now. It sounds like the market might be starting to maybe continue a uptrend. I don't know, not financial advice. People keep talking about interest rates going down. I try to ignore this macro nonsense. I'm not a macro economist, like everybody else that thinks they are on crypto Twitter. But anyways, so yeah, please, what I would suggest you guys is to go scan the QR code on the screen, use the code W3M, and that's going to get you 1 free month right there on the top of the screen. And the cool part, they got an affiliate program that gives you up to 20% of the revenue that's generated from somebody that signs up. And the coolest part about it, which I honestly have never seen this for, that link or that affiliate link lasts for 12 months.
Wow.
And maybe I didn't say that right, but basically, if I get an affiliate link and I send that to Trav and he signs up for a free account now, if he upgrades in 11 months and 29 days, I'm still going to get credit for that sale, or for that, for the sale, I guess, right? And so, yeah, definitely a juicy affiliate program there.
Amazing.
Next week, go ahead, Trav, if you want to jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to quickly shout out to you guys as well on how community forward you are, from being just so completely accessible to your community into receiving feedback and actually implementing that feedback, to giving us our own personal Web3 Matters promo code, which allows our community to gain 1 month?
Remind 1 month and 2 weeks.
Perfect. That of free access to the pro version of this app. And then, yeah, just for being spectacular human beings who are putting all of these mechanisms in play so that people can profit, people can be educated. And I think that's super spectacular here. So that's all I got to say for the time being. Kobe, I can't wait to hear what's going on next week, except I see Whale, your hands up.
Yeah, so last thing before we continue to next week, we are not selling a token. Like, we are not interested in creating a token and selling it. I think that especially for this kind of product, it has zero value in doing that, and it would create more nightmares than it would solve. But what I do want to say is that we have given back support to the people, or giving back to the people that support us early, and we continue to doing so. So the free version will always be free. I cannot say if the paid version is always going to be $9.99, but like the early supporters have getting perks, that they can actually see and get the value right away, not waiting for a token to go up. So that's all I'm going to say.
I love it. A little bit of alpha sprinkled in there. So if you've been listening carefully, it pays to be early. Back at you, Kobe.
Yeah, literally it does. Yeah, killer. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's really important for me, especially somebody who's kind of, you know, not like the most excited about like the trenches as I used to be. You know, airdrop farming, earning points for said TGE. Like, yeah, I hate that. And so, yeah, not having a token and just kind of like providing this value and make it's a proper product. Like Steven said, it's a Web2 product, right? Like, this is just definitely like, yeah, a tool to have in your toolbox, no doubt. So next week, what we're going to be doing, we're all going to have these guys back. We're going to have the DeFi Tracker Pro team, by Flare Forward team back again to dive a little bit deeper into the technical aspects, how they built it, what they, we'll talk more in detail about the transition from Canva to Replit to Cursor and all the road bump or all like the speed bumps that they hit along the way, the decisions that they were forced to make, and talking about user experience, just basically everything that somebody that's interested in vibe coding, interested in actually building an app that people want to use, or just is curious about like mindset, right? Like again, I'll go back to it again next week, even though it is technical. Like Will said, like he had to fight, and Steven said like you have to wrestle with this AI a lot of the times, and so it comes with a necessary mindset in order to achieve your goal with AI. If you give up after your first prompt, is it successful? Not gonna make it. Not gonna make it, little bro.
I think that saying a wrestle with AI, it's like not enough. It's more like a street fight with 5 gangs and no rules.
Maybe knives.
Your
Maybe
brass
knives.
knuckles, yeah.
Oh,
Shit,
fantastic. Hey guys, I
awesome.
would love to just take a moment here if that's okay. I just want to address our audience one more time here. Guys, between all of our destinations, we have well over 350 viewers right now. So I just want to thank you all for taking the time to hang out with us, to support us, for showing interest, for giving us your feedback. We like to say time and time again that the only reason we're doing this is to be able to give value to you guys. And truly, I feel like because of your support, because of you guys reposting this space, because of you guys participating in the content and the work and the alpha that we are trying to deliver, we're making it. And that feels pretty freaking spectacular. And to be able to share amazing builders like these two gentlemen here with you, and to really optimize and maximize the exposure that they get is such an honor. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty fantastic about that. How about you there, Kobe?
Yeah, I'm feeling fantastic about it as well too. And for builders in the audience, or for builders listening to this on the playback, or if you know a builder, it doesn't have to be somebody that vibe coded an app. That would be awesome because it kind of like speaks to what we're doing, but it doesn't need to be. Connect us, right? Like get in touch with us. If you've got some value to share, we want to give you a stage and an opportunity to share that a value with our audience. We don't expect anything in return, right? For anybody wondering too, you know, if for creators, right? If creators want to get involved, there's an affiliate program with DeFi Tracker Pro. And if you want a little bit more sauce, you can get in touch with me and I will kind of help you create some content around these guys if you want. And we can all kind of go viral together. So looking forward to next week and continue to bring that value. And yeah, shout out to you guys, DeFi Tracker Pro. You guys can just scan the QR code right there to check it out. No wallet connection needed. Absolutely zero risk to test it out.
And if you're a shit builder, don't reach out. Don't do it. If you want to scam people, just stay in your own lane. Maybe stop building. And,
Yeah, seriously.
that's about it.
Seriously.
Gentlemen, any final words you'd like to share? Any final call to actions you'd like to say to our community? I love it. Will, how about yourself, my friend? Anything you'd like to leave our audience with today?
Yeah, I know. Coming back, if there's a whale, there's a way. So, the like the best way to fail is to never start. So, I feel like Kobe was saying like, oh, people keep telling me that I cannot make it as a Web3 or like a vibe coder influencer. And I was like, well, yeah, people always say that it's impossible until somebody proves them wrong. So please start. And if you fail, start again. And if you fail again, like get up and do it again until you do it, because Like not starting, that's the safest way to fail.
I love it. Love it. I love it. And just to kind of proof of results today, allow me just to share my screen here. We are at the second place on the live stream leaderboard, live on X. And this is for live streams and spaces here. So huge shout out to you guys for bringing the value. It's clearly been recognized today. So yeah, completely fired up and so stoked to be doing this today. Kobe, back at you, my friend.
You're
Kobe.
muted.
Kobe.
Hey, dude, I have too many things open. I was like, where's the stream page? Yeah, killer. I don't have any final words. I've said my piece. You know, if anybody out there needs any help with their app, with their vibe coding, or how to get started, like definitely reach out to me personally, jump on a call with you. You know, it's not something that I am charging people for, especially right now. Like I just want to help out and who knows where that could go. So yeah, don't hesitate. You know, like Whale said at the very beginning, and the best way to learn is to teach, and people took the time to help teach me. And so it's only fair that I pay it forward and get better myself in the process. So I really appreciate you guys coming on. I'm so freaking excited for next week and expect to see some content from us, from the Flare Forward team and from just anybody on the timeline, some of the Flare folks as well, and some short form video, right? So on that note, Whale and Steven, when we shut down the stream, if I could just ask you guys to stay in for like 2 minutes, because then that'll actually upload the recording for us. And if you leave, it kind of just messes stuff up. So hell yeah. Trav, you want to send us off here?
It would be an absolute pleasure. Maybe I'll use the wise words of a gentleman I once met called Whale. If there's a whale, there's a way. And if you don't want to fail, be a whale. Or something along those lines. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a hell of a stream. Truly appreciate each and every single one of you. Definitely make sure to follow Whale and follow Shudspeth. I don't know if that's what you want me to call you or shout out here, but represent my friend. Give us a follow. Web3 Matters. Stay tuned for all the announcements that are coming up. Stay tuned.
The applause is too loud. I can't hear you.
Crap. Let me try that again. It's probably a good thing because I was fumbling and getting lost in my own thoughts here. So I just want to thank each and every single one of you guys for being here. Follow us. Stay tuned for more announcements. Be back next week, so it's going to get even better. That's about it. Appreciate every single one of you. See you next time. There we go.
There we go.
How do I stop going live? Here we go. Bye.